Tbone272 Gaming, back again for yet another channel first. Today I will be revealing my Fallout 76 build, something I affectionately refer to as my smelly melly Patriot build, or the Patriot build for short. So if you're not familiar with the actor Mel Gibson, not a huge fan, but I am a huge fan of some of his movies, Braveheart, The Patriot, great movies. The latter being the inspiration for the build you are about to see before you. In that movie, Mel Gibson is a American living in the Revolutionary times, during which the British soldiers have attacked America during the Revolutionary War, and Mel Gibson's home has come under attack. So, and what's he going to do? He's going to fight back, as any true American patriot would. So with that in mind, he went out into the woods to ambush the British as they were coming through, and he had muskets hidden at various locations, and running through the woods, firing them at random, he was able to decimate the British force that was moving through his area, and did it solely by himself. So who better to build a build after than Mel Gibson himself with the Patriot build. So without any more of that, we're going to jump right into it. Alright, so first things first, I want to take you through my perk cards. So a little disclaimer here, I do run with a couple of these legendary perks. So we got 2 legendary endurance, 1 legendary perception, 3 legendary strength, far-flung, not required, but it is very nice. 2 legendary perk luck, and 1 agility. Okay? So I will have a few extra perk points that you might not have until you have the ability to level up far enough, or maybe you can juggle some stuff around to make something work. But this is just kind of going to serve as a starting point for anybody that wants to get into black powder builds. Okay, so first and foremost, strength. I'm going Traveling Pharmacy and Bandolier. Those are must-haves. Everything is so heavy, especially the ammo for black powder rifles, that you need all the extra space you can get by lightening those things up. I don't recommend carry capacity boosts just because the flat boost isn't as effective as a overall reduction by percent. Perception, pretty self-explanatory. All the Rifleman perk cards. So you got Rifleman, Expert Rifleman, Master Rifleman, and then Tank Killer. So your rifles do armor pen. And then Grenadier and Concentrated Fire. I do run this as an explosive black powder build. So Grenadier is not necessarily super important, but it does help a lot with making sure your explosive damage gets counted as it should. Concentrated Fire only rank 1. Because black powder rifles fire slow, so it's hard to get an extra shot off on the same target while in the same bats. So it's just not really necessary to get those damage and accuracy boosts. Third is endurance. I don't need any endurance cards. This would be where I would take some away if I needed to. But having the 3 that I have there because of my legendary perk cards and the 1 point that is required, I use fireproof just to help take less damage from explosives. Charisma is a little interesting. It's a little flexible. Typically, I would run with rank 3 Tenderizer and then Strange in Numbers. I use a lot of mutations, so it's always just beneficial to work with those. But there is flexibility here. If you're not going to run with mutations, you can definitely go 2 points Tenderizer, 2 points Suppressor, something like that. Over here in Intelligence, right now it's a little funky because I have Gunsmith because I was doing some crafting. But I usually run with Gunsmith rank 2 and Nerd Rage. Nerd Rage being very important, especially if you're using unyielding armor. That's going to allow you to get the closest to that full bloodied build that you can, getting as much damage at low health as possible. Am I going past it 100 times? Goodness gracious. Oh, it's because it's already on there. I wasn't missing Nerd Rage, I was missing Demolition Expert. So that's another one, very important, 60% extra damage to your explosives. Going to be really helpful with your explosive builds. Lastly, we got Agility and Luck. Agility, we went all for sneak perks, as well as Adrenaline. Adrenaline, super good perk. You need to have this with just about any build you're doing. It's going to increase your damage after each kill, and it refreshes as you kill. Luck also has some flexibility, juggling between 4-leaf clover and Psychopath. You don't necessarily have to have those. I like doing VATS crit builds, and that's just what I went with. And then the rest is the mandatory Bloody Mess and my mutation perks. So with that out of the way, next thing I want to show you is my mutations. Pretty straightforward, all of them. I run with all of them. Now that's not entirely true. I did take off Twisted Muscles because that is just a 20% accuracy hit is just unacceptable when using a single shot weapon. especially if you wanted to try to use the dragon. It makes the dragon virtually unusable due to the 4 separate barrels having 4 separate trajectories. It just creates a mess of trying to get point blank hits. So that's the build. Next we're going to go into my items. So I run with 3 explosive black powder weapons. I like to use my bloodied and my 2-shot when I'm in combat. I'll tell you why I use 2 in a minute, besides the obvious of getting an extra shot. And then for long range situations, I have stalkers to increase that chance to hit. I did a little testing, and unless you're going to be firing... I don't even know how it would work, because range doesn't bring enemies in if you have range greater than like 200. So, those are my 3 weapons. Stalkers, bloodied, 2-shot. 2-shot is by far the creme de la creme when it comes to explosive black powder weapons. If you're looking for a god roll, it needs to be 2-shot explosive. It's going to do more damage than your bloodied, as you can see right there. If I put my bloodied on, I'm at 613. I put my 2-shot on, 797, and that's stable. My armor, it's pretty straightforward as well. 4 pieces of unyielding, 1 piece of life saving. That allows me to pick myself up if I get dropped with my low health build. If you could get all unyielding sentinels, like this guy here, 75% chance to reduce damage by 15% while standing still, ideal. And that about does it for ammo and weaponry. Next, we're going to get into a little bit of playstyle. So to do that, I'm actually going to just show off a little clip of me doing some stuff with this build. Alright, so I'm going to turn off my audio for that, and then I'm going to bring this up onto the screen. So something I anticipated when I was building this, getting this build together was, hey Tbone, why don't you run with dragons? They do more damage. You can do all kinds of more fun stuff with them, and there is, you know, that very tempting overloading process where you can force extra rounds into your gun so you never have to reload, and you can fire the dragon as fast as you can pull the trigger. A lot of fun, a lot of fun. Nothing against that, but I really wanted to try to make this a vanilla build that could work without any major exploits or cheats. And I put that caveat on there because there is a specific tactic that I like to use known as musket juggling. This is a term I've come up with, so if it already exists, please correct me in the comments and let me know what it's actually called. But this is the general term I use for 2 different types of loading the black powder rifles that will help you immensely with this build, and they're just not as effective with the dragon. So with those ones in mind, here's 3 more reasons why I prefer using black powder rifles to the dragon. So right here, you're going to see I get hit as I'm about to pull the hammers back to finish my reload, and it completely cancels my reload. That is just so frustrating. Can't have that. Reason number 2, I already touched on it briefly, but here's in action, 95% hit chance, switch to 78, miss. Point blank, miss. Just because of accuracy issues with 4 different trajectories. At the time when this clip was taken, I think I did have twisted muscles, so that's part of the issue there. And then my 3rd and final reason is just because, sort of like I was just saying, even when everything's going right, you're hitting your shots, everything's landing the way it's supposed to, you're reloading constantly, and you're getting an extra shot apparently by pulling the trigger fast. There's just so much downtime with a 10-second reload on the dragon. It's just not fun. It becomes a chore just to wait to reload, and everybody's tagging everything around you. And with all the people running gap plasma and high-capacity weapons that can just unload on people, you're just not going to get tagged. So the dragon is just very limited in that sense. So the first form of musket juggling I'm going to go into, I call juggling off free shots. It's how you get your free shots with your black powder rifle. It's a fairly straightforward process. It works by having both your rifles loaded. So here I'm going to show you in real time. First rifle is already loaded. Reloading the second rifle. And then once it's loaded, I can VATS onto a target, fire a shot. And once I fire that shot, I'll switch to my other rifle. There's the switch, fire the one in that, and you'll see the ammo ticker goes right back up and I get another free shot. Okay, so pretty simple, pretty reliable. That one always works. I always get at least 1. Sometimes it varies between 1 to 10 shots. I'm not really sure what triggers that. I think it has something to do with the timing of how quickly you get those shots off. You got to hit them right as the ticker jumps up. Otherwise, it'll jump back down and you'll lose the shot. The next method I call juggle loading. It's essentially just spamming your weapon back and forth on your quick wheel, and you'll see shots get put back in the rifle. It allows me to fire That method's a lot less reliable, but it can be great for getting one more shot just to finish off a group of enemies. So there you have it. You got musket juggling, you got juggling up free shots, and juggle loading. So here's a little bit of gameplay. Me going through a rad rumble, just a single rad rumble. I encourage you to keep a look on the timer ticking down in the top right-hand corner. The event is 12 minutes long, something like that. And you can see I just started getting clips going around the 6-minute mark, purely because a lot of this build is setup. Everything is preparation. Preparation, preparation, preparation. You need to be ready for the next fight. If you don't have both weapons loaded, you're not ready for the next fight. So there was 3 free shots, and then it ticked down on the last one because I didn't fire it soon enough. So this is a good example for you to see the ammo counter. You'll see it tick up after I shoot. So 3 shots live, and then it ticks back down. So I used this clip just to kind of give you an idea of what I'm talking about and how that free shot sort of works. You want to fire it as soon as you see that ammo ticker go up, otherwise you won't get it. So I attempted to juggle load there, didn't get it, ended up switching to a different weapon, and then again right here. So at the time when I did this, I guess I did run with 4 black powder rifles. I've since dropped out in instigating. It's bayonets! Every now and again you gotta do it. But I swapped out in instigating just because I really didn't use all 4. Instigating is only useful when I'd use the soft medium. Another 3 free shots. I don't try to juggle load too often. It can leave you in a bad situation if you don't get it, you know, because it is less reliable and more random. When it works, it's awesome and you can get, you know, that last hit and really finish off the fight. But when it doesn't work, you leave yourself very, very, very vulnerable to enemies because you've just canceled your reload and now you, instead of taking 4 seconds, it's going to take 7 and it's just a whole mess. So I try not to juggle load too much. I do really like the free shots. See right there, I attempted to juggle a shot back in, didn't get it. But I do really like the free shots more than overloading the weapon. I feel like it's more realistic in a sense of at least I can compete with high-powered builds that are in Fallout, but I'm not doing something so broken that, you know, is obviously not meant to be in the game. Now, I'm sure this wasn't exactly intentional, but there is a perk called Quick Hands that gives a chance to put a round back in your gun, and I have run with that before. I did a little bit of that before I learned about the free shots, and you need it for this build. It just makes it so fun. That said, though, you can run this build 100% viably without any overloading, free shots, juggling, or anything. It's a great build, super fun, changes up the routine with Fallout enough that it just keeps it interesting. So I highly encourage anybody that's played the heck out of the same build for the last 1.5 years and wants to try something new. Black powder rifles are where it's at. Forget your fixer. Put it away. Get a black powder rifle. It's gonna be fun. I promise. It's gonna be fun. So here we are, just wrapping it up. A couple more free shots. The event just ended, and that was a solid rad rumble. Got a lot of experience, got some good legendaries. But that's the Patriot build. So if you made it this far, thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe down below. Really helps my channel out. If you like this kind of content, leave a comment down below. I definitely have some more builds I could throw together. If you want to try getting a black powder build going and you're on Xbox, hit me up anytime. Gamertag Tbone272's, same as the YouTube channel, and I will gladly help you over at the Black Powder Emporium, aka the Boneyard. I've got all kinds of dragons and muskets and pistols, everything you could possibly want or need for a build like this. Reach out anytime. I'm here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.